Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sage. It's a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha. This is episode 1570. It's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2025. Welcome to the show. Woo! Here with Miss Mara and Kaustubha, and Miss Mara she's got some headgear on today, so she's trying to hide off camera. Maybe sneak your face in just one shot. Look.
There we go. She looks great.
She looks great. She looks like the adorable bride of Frankenstein.
I thought she looked like Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa, okay.
Just depends where you're.
Well, she was no
Right,
looker
Frankenstein.
herself, Mother Teresa. No, I can't say that. No, but Mara has, it's a EEG, an EEG monitor. She had to wear. She's carrying a thing that looks like a 1981 Walkman around her all day, and it's monitoring her brain functions, brain signals.
It would be interesting to see, like, if we could follow, like, things that Raghu says on the show, and then the brain responses in Mara.
Oh my God, you shouldn't have said that, fool. You should have said Mother Teresa's not a looker. That's stupid. Anyway, how are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm doing good, Raghunath. I'm getting back in the New York groove. You know, we got Raghunath Swami arriving. Like,
I know.
today or
He's
tomorrow.
arriving the day we're leaving. That's
Yeah.
inauspicious.
That's auspicious. It's inauspicious that you're leaving as he arrives.
Okay. Yes,
Right.
that's what I meant.
Okay.
You think I meant he was inauspicious and I was auspicious?
No, I just wanted to be clear about that, right?
Yes. Yes. Anyway,
And, I'm
this-
walking around and bumping into people that I know left and right.
you love New York City.
I bumped
He's such
into
a New Yorker. He loves it.
It is nice to walk down the street and bump into people that you know.
That's what New Yorkers love more than anything. Stop.
Hey,
I just saw, I can't believe I'm only in New York. Can you do that? Run into somebody.
I bumped into Mahotsava, you know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he gave me two of these. One for you. It's a translation of the Ramayana.
By
So
who?
I got one. I got one of these for you.
Who translated it?
I think it was translated by his guru, by Bhakti Swami, and someone else, Purna Pragna or something like that.
Oh, I like Purna Pragna's
Yeah,
translations a
I
lot.
think it's a combination of the two of them. So
Yeah,
anyway,
it
I got
is.
one when you're ready.
Thank you.
I bumped into a friend of mine that I hadn't seen for probably 40 years.
Wow.
You know, yesterday on the street.
You recognized each other?
Yeah, we're Facebook friends too, but
Okay.
I think I've
From what
recognized-
circle?
From the circle, like people that used to hang out. As a matter of fact, she told me, "Oh, you know, you got to come to this reunion. There's a reunion in a bar that we used to hang out in." You know, I'm like, okay,
You should
but
go.
you know,
You should go.
just
Step out of your comfort zone. Go.
All right, Rogan. You know, there's you know that bar. It used to be. It's called Lucy's now, but it used to be called Blanche's. It was like on Avenue A between.
You know what? I'm a
You
little
go to
bar
the-
illiterate.
I know, but it was right there. It was
Yeah,
on
I don't
Avenue A
remember it.
between St. Mark's and 9th Street. But you know, like that kind of group that used to hang out in places like the Holiday or the
Yeah.
people into ska or into, you know, like just into that downtown scene.
Yeah.
That circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. But I think she checks out the podcast a little bit and stuff like that too. So Thea, if you're
You know
out
what's
there, it's nice
really
bumping
cool?
into you.
It's amazing who checks out the podcast. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
You know, even people who don't think they would be checking out this podcast, you know, when they're private, when they're alone, that's the thing. Like, you can't, like, a lot of people would just be like, I will never go into a Hare Krishna temple. But in the privacy of your home, where things
They'll
feel
listen to
safe,
that.
where your ego's not like getting, you know, put on the front lines, you know, I wonder what this is about. There's probably
Yeah.
some wonder in their heart what this is
Yeah.
about. And the podcast keeps it safe because you could be in your car alone
right.
and just like hit that podcast app.
You don't have to walk
Search
in
for Wisdom of the Sages. Maybe people can
engage
share it
directly.
today. Maybe we could say share the podcast Wednesday
All right.
today. It's share the podcast Wednesday. Everybody should just share the podcast to a friend you think could use it and say, you know what? I think you'd like this. pick out a particular episode that you'd like and share it.
Does that
Before
mean
we
we
get
have to
too deep in
cancel
this,
the walk on Wednesday, or we can still do both?
yeah, we have a walk on Wednesday, but she's canceled. Sorry. Love you, Ishri.
Share
Just
the
kidding.
podcast Wednesday.
It is walk on Wednesday. I want to make an announcement. We were running a sale for our Wisdom of the Sages early bird, not Wisdom of the Sages, our Super Soul 200 hour and 300 hour. I'm doing with Lori Pag and Cindy. We were running a sale, and Bobby Marchand at the Govardhan
I'm part
Eco
of that
Village
too,
in January.
Raghunath.
And Kaustubha,
hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Lori Pag's picture on Zoom, so I was like, if I gotta say Lori Pag, because I always forget somebody, and I just forgot you.
Okay.
So anyway, we've been running a sale for it, and it ended 2 days ago. But Cindy told me today, give Wisdom of the Sages people 3 more days. So today is what day? Wednesday. If you want that discount or you're thinking about it and you missed it, we will hold it for Wisdom of the Sages people. Just reach out to, what's our email for that?
If they go
Yeah,
to
Super
your
Soul Shady.
page, well, yeah, they can email.
Go
Super Soul
to
Shades.
raghunath.yoga and go to the Super
Yeah.
Soul, go to the trainings and just say, hey, I'm a Wisdom of the Sages listener. Can you
Yeah.
please extend that?
Cindy's tough though. You can't
bonus.
extend it beyond.
No, it's just a Friday. It's tough. It will end. I had to ask her for permission if we can extend it for Wisdom of the Sages people. So if you're
Now
thinking
let's-
about that training, come join us for the pleasant training at the Govardhan Eco Village. We do it every year. It's wonderful.
Now, I
Gets
think there's
better
some
every
important announcements that Mary has, though, right?
Yeah, you got something more important than that?
No, that's the most important thing
What
on the
about
table.
the schedule coming up?
Well, there's no show tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then Friday and Saturday the show's going to be Friday and Saturday the show will be at 9 a.m. Eastern time.
9 a.m. Note that down, people. That's an unusual
So it's like
time.
an extra sleep.
That's a weird
sleep in
time.
Friday and sleep in Saturday.
There's going to be a lot of weird timings coming up in the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks because Raghunath's
How-
on the road and Mary's on
How
the
do
road.
they check out the timings? I still don't know myself. How do they go to the website? Can they see, okay,
We'll
tomorrow
announce
it's
it.
going to be at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
How do they do that? Tell them, walk them through it.
I gotta
You
go
go
to
to
the
the Sage
website and do it
Community
again.
platform.
Yeah, there's a Sage
What if you're not
Community
a Sage
platform,
Community
and there's a
platform member?
calendar.
You can still view the calendar.
You can still
Yeah.
see the calendar. Okay,
Yeah.
do you hear that, people? You just go to that calendar. Melanie Brandy says the calendar says it all. Today is at 6 a.m. Okay.
Today's she's pointing out that the calendar's wrong.
Oh, the calendar's wrong.
She thought she was backing you up.
I was like, boy, this Melanie Brandy, she's really on it. She's too on it. Okay, we were wrong. Who's in charge of that? Nityananda Chandra.
Okay, so we need to communicate with Nityananda Chandra and let him know that things are going to be funky coming up.
Things are shifted and weird. We're going to really try our
Yeah.
best. Melanie Pope says, oh, God, everyone's
an
going
announcement.
crazy now. Everyone's going crazy.
It used to be on the
complaining.
announcements tab. Don't.
Ragu says, my
Yeah,
old
announcements.
Zoom.
That was you, Bear, right?
Um.
Would you do it on the announcements?
No, I think Nityananda Chandra was doing the announcements tab. Yeah, it says it's usually on the announcements tab when it changes.
So Nityananda Chandra, you're going to have to step up for this time because this is going to be
For
challenging.
2 weeks, please. Nityananda Chandra.
Gopal Nandini's backing up our calendar. She says it's right 95% of the time.
Okay, thank you. It's right 95% of the town. That's not a bad
Okay.
stat.
That's
You were
not
bad.
for us. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we get into the?
All right, sorry about that. Hey, it's Walk on Wednesday, which means every Wednesday we try to bring on someone we think is cool, interesting, and has got a good little story to tell. And so today we have Ishvari Sundari, our very own. We're going to call her our very own. Welcome to the show, Ishvari Sundari.
Haribol,
Haribo, how are you? Good to see you.
thanks for having me on the show again.
Great to have you back again. And you're going to talk today about sage groups. You're in charge of the sage groups. What is your position?
Oh, Krishna's in charge of the sage groups. I'm
Oh,
just
Krishna's
in
serving
charge.
Krishna.
Okay. And you're working for Krishna.
I'm working for Krishna.
Thank you. He's one of the best employers, I've heard. It's got a great benefit
Yeah.
package.
And credit also goes to Shirupa, who has
Yeah.
been also working on sage groups for a little over a year now. So
Diligently.
Mhm.
Yes. So what's the latest news with Sage Groups? First of all, there's something was set off last night, right? I think.
yeah, so last night we had our first youth group, Sage Group youth group meeting. Ekadasi is leading that group. I haven't heard from Ekadasi yet, but I'm really excited to hear from her. I believe at the last time I counted, it must have been about 9 to 10 or something like that.
Kids, what age group
participants
were they?
I'm sorry? Oh,
What
they
age group?
were 9 to 12.
So 9 to 12-year-olds.
And some very
That's
mature 8-year-olds.
okay. Mature 8-year-olds. Right?
Very much.
Now,
Very mature.
Karuna's mom, Tulsi, is here. Could we get like a thumbs up or something? Was Karuna into it? Did she like it? Did she have a good time? Sort of. Okay, kind of. She was honest. She got an honest answer there. That's good. Yeah. All right. We'll find out from Karuna if there's ways that it could be improved. She's insightful.
I mean, Karuna's like a
Writing
child
something.
prodigy. We can't expect,
Yeah, she's
We-
like,
you know.
yeah, she's intense.
Yeah, and it is a pilot group. So Ekadasi is trying, one way, but she's going to grow throughout the next 4
course.
weeks. That's why we're doing it for 4 weeks, so that
But
she
this
can
is
see
like
what works
a
and doesn't work.
Beta version of it.
Right, right.
Okay.
So
I
everybody can see
I
that.
say we make Karuna join an adult group. I think she needs an adult group. Yes.
Oh, now Sadie loved the youth group here. Little itty bitty little.
Oh, little
lady
baby
kitty
Sadie. Okay, so we have youth groups. What else do you want to say about the sage
Yeah.
groups? Maybe
Yeah, so-
what are the sage groups for people who are just new to the podcast? Make it brief and then dive into what's going on when we start the next series.
I guess the best way to explain the sage groups is that it's an opportunity for people who are watching the podcast to participate, in a group session, in a group setting, I should say, weekly, and discuss a topic that Kaustubha and I think /Shrirupa now are working on some notes and reflection questions, which are really great, very empowering questions, and just helps people to communicate. It's much more than that, because like from the time that I started doing this till now, it's grown to be a family, friendships, just an exchange of so much, things in life in general, and people start to build friendships and connections. And I mean, I'm traveling with you guys sometimes in other retreats, and I see sage. When we were in when we were in Mayapur, I
Okay.
have somebody just come up to me when we were at that women's ashram that we were helping give out food,
that was
prasadam.
fun.
I don't know if you remember. You guys
Yes.
were playing kirtan. There was a little
Little
devotee
dwarf
lady
devotee
dancing.
lady that was like incredible.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I have like this husband and wife couple hugging me, and I'm like, "Oh God, what is happening here?"
Who are
It
these
was
people?
actually somebody who was in a sage group with me,
Ah.
maybe like 2 sessions ago, and he recognized me. And his wife, had heard so much about the group that she was hugging me too. And I'm like, oh, Krishna miracle or Krishna weirdness. But it was great when I found out that there were actually people that I know. So it's like, and then obviously when I recognized him, it was such a nice conversation. So I mean, this is the groups that have grown to be a lot more than just an extension of the podcast. It's becoming like a way for people to connect that otherwise they can't connect.
Right.
And of course, you're connecting on very deep levels too. It's not so superficial because people are sharing their hearts. You have community that you can, where there's confidence, not a lot of like big mouth blabbers. There's some confidentiality within the group, and people share their hearts, and we hear from them, and then we share our hearts. So you develop like very deep friendships almost very quickly, and it's safe to say that the world needs this more, where you can come together with certain people, and you have like an outlet to share what you're going through, and like almost like a support team. And it's not just like we need community. We need community that lifts us higher and higher and higher and helps us become our best self. So we're really happy this whole thing has started. I give credit to Kaustubha for this because
No.
it is an absolute it's free of charge. Even yesterday, we had a Wisdom of Sages meeting, and I was like, "What? Did people have to be a community member where they donate money to the podcast?" And Kaustubha was like, "No, it's free. We're not monetizing this at all." A business coach would slap us both in the face, but we're doing this for the public so we can get together to uplift our spiritual life. This is not a sales technique. As a matter of fact, we need some more sales techniques. If anyone's got any, we're open to them. But this is not that. This is people coming together who have nothing but good intentions to grow, to meet people, to meet good people, and to lift people higher. So when does the next session start?
So registration will start this Saturday at 9 a.m. So
9
that is coming up on the 5th. So 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The session is going to start on the 21st. So we wanted to give a little bit more of a break for the facilitators. And it'll last 10 weeks. So we've shortened them, but we have 4 sessions now a year instead of 3, which is really nice, both for
It's a
the
short
members.
commitment.
However, I know that some members are like, I get a little anxiety. Oh my goodness, no, I mean, people really want to meet every week. It's so exciting when you're ending a session and they're like, it's the last session. Oh no. So
You can still be friends with them.
yeah.
We're
So
not
people
saying you have
do
to
stay-
give up their friendship at the end.
True. So people do stay on WhatsApp groups, and I keep sharing from people like from 2 years ago, and we're connected. I've even like been invited to stay over at people's house. So it does, the connection continues. But what we are doing, and I just got a confirmation for from Raj Vihari that what we're going to do is we created these community groups in between sessions where
Look
it
at
doesn't
you
matter how many
guys.
people want to join. Just
This
we're
is
going to
awesome.
put the dates out there, and any member from any group could join, and we're going to have 1 or 2
like that.
facilitators, and people are just going to start talking about their experience, and we might, depending on how many people join, we might go into breakout sessions, have some questions, come back, and one person share. So I'm just announcing it now because I found out last night from Raj. He is doing next week on Thursday at 8 p.m. So we're going to put that on the site. But that's
look
what
at that.
it's a community group open to
This
all
is-
members. So it could be like 100 people there.
That's
for all
like
we know.
when you have an addiction and then you get cut off. What do they call that again? The symptoms that you feel.
Withdrawal.
Yeah, that's like
Withdrawal
the
symptoms?
withdrawal. Like that's like the sage group withdrawal group.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's-
even for the facilitators too. Like I feel it as a facilitator and as a member, I feel like I just broke up with somebody. So it's so hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So but it's really, really sweet. And then we're Shirupa and I are just looking at dates, and we might host, and we will host one next, not this weekend,
Withdrawal
but
group?
following weekend, another community group. So we're gonna have a couple of them while we have this break, so that people
Cool.
have connection.
That's great.
All right.
Maybe we can pop in on those sometimes. Say hello.
Would
to
love
Yeah,
you.
can
you
we pop
to.
in? Are we welcome to pop? Are we
I
part of your community?
I pray that you pop in.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let us know
yes.
when it is. And
I
and
will
so, but an important thing is that you mentioned that 9 a.m. this Saturday the registration opens up on wisdomthesages.com. You go there, you click on Sage Groups, and then you can see all the different Sage Group leaders and the different time slots that they do their weekly get together, and then you can sign up for the one that you choose. But only about 7 or 8 people get in every group, so the sooner that you register, the more options that you have, because they start to fill up very quickly actually, right?
Very
Within a
quickly.
few days they're like 80% full or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's worth it to get in there early, even though it'll be during the show on Saturday at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Hey, if you've never done it, try it.
Yeah.
Some people are like, well, I don't know if I can commit. Just do it. Just commit. Just to commit to something.
Make a little commitment in life, right,
You
Raghunath?
know, a little commitment. That's how things change.
I mean, everybody has it, like January is a very busy time and people go to India, and summertime people go on vacations. So some people will tune in from India on their vacations, and it's okay to take a break too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, 75% attendance would be amazing. People do have lives though, so don't feel like if you have to miss a class or two that you're out.
Right.
You can't
But
join.
don't
why-
get too
Sure.
casual about it either. It
Not
is-
too
On the message
casual.
bo-
Usually,
On the message
like,
board, Gyana Gumya says, why are the spaces so small? Oh,
That's
Because it's a-
because otherwise there's no real opportunity to share. The idea is that everybody
Okay.
has time to speak and you get
I
to
get
know
it.
each other. Otherwise,
get
it's
it.
just a lot of voyeurs in a sense,
yeah. Voyeur.
Yeah, to manage a bigger group, I mean, there are some, so if you do really want to get into a group, we suggest after, closer to the end of registration, write in and we'll see what happens. There are ways to manage just a bit bigger group, but
Okay.
not too big. Like we can't have
Yeah.
20 people in an hour and a half. It's just
Yeah, that makes
don't
sense.
get
Okay,
the
I get it
nectar
now.
that you need.
There's a dynamic in a small group that just can't be met, and this is what larger institutions, particularly spiritual ones, they catch on to this. It makes a big difference. It's they say the transformation really takes place in the small groups. It's not that the large gatherings don't have a value, but where you really get into your life and really get into your heart and so on, that's usually taking place in small groups. So within a larger community, you break into small groups, and it's a unique dynamic.
Very unique.
Very good.
All right. Thank you,
Very,
Ishwar
very
Sundari.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the work that you do to keep these going. Thank you to Sri Rupa and Braj Bihari as well. And yeah, everybody sign up.
And to all the members, because it's really reciprocal. We grow with them. It's a reciprocal relationship here.
We got people writing in saying how much they
Yeah,
look
Phil
forward to
D.
it every week.
Phil D. We call him Fill 'em Up with Bhakti. He said, I tried it for the first time the last session. I felt like it was really stepping out of my comfort zone at first, but it was so valuable. Beautiful Sangha that helped me grow.
That's what
How
you got to do. You
nice.
got to step a little out of the
Yeah,
comfort.
sometimes we're introverted. I'll listen to the podcast. Okay, I'll go live on Zoom on the podcast. Okay, I'll make my photo visible so I'm not just a photo anymore. I'm a real human. A lot of people have those inhibitions. I'm not like that. I'm all over the place in everybody's face at every moment. But some people are just like, I'm going to do it from the back. I'm going to peek around the corner. And I appreciate those who are just like coming forward like that. And that is part of our growth and our healing and our connection with other people. And we live in a very isolated world, Ishwari. Isn't that true? People isolate. And we keep
isolate.
secrets. And we become as sick as our secrets, so to say. And so this is a big healing
Everybody
process
loves their
to share how
dog,
you're
but
feeling.
yeah, reach
Huh?
out there, meet some. Everybody loves their dog, but reach out to meet other humans sometimes.
Right.
I isolate a bit, so
Okay.
You isolate it. See?
with my dog.
With your dog, you see?
Yeah.
Me and Kaustubha have our own private Sage group. Sage group premiere, where he comes
Do we?
and he just shares his heart. Raghunath, I'm going through this. I was like,
help me.
tell me, I hear you. What else? What
Does
else are
that
you
happen?
going through?
Okay.
Don't bury it, Kaustubha. Don't bury it. Lift it up. Lift it higher. Anyway, Ishwari, thank you for all your help. Sri Rupa. Who else is on that team?
Braj Bihari.
Braj Bihari. Super, super duper
Ganga.
impressed.
Thank you. Amy Steller saying, I look forward every week. I love my group members. Achuta saying the Sage groups are definitely the highlight of my week. Timothy says the same.
All right. This is great.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we can be like Amy Steller soon and sit around supermarket parking lots and chant the holy name.
There you go.
That's Stacey
And
Cabrera
Tulsi
loves
Karuna's
it.
mom says, I'm still friends with the people from the very first session. They're like family for me. That was like 4 years ago,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay,
Okay.
let's get on with the show.
Thank you, Ishwar.
Thank you, Ishwari Sundari. All right, Bull.
Okay. You ready, Raghu? Well, let's just dive right into it. We're going to talk about Ganga today, the Ganges River,
Very exciting. I predicted Ishwari's name at her initiation.
Okay.
Predicted it.
I think you got half of it. I think you got
I got half of
Ishwari.
it. I got half. Her name was Isabella. And I said, Ishwari, yes, Ishwari.
Okay.
And
Congratulations.
then initiation, Ishwari Sundari. I was like, boom. Like the gods are speaking to me. I think I guessed like 3 names on that initiation.
Good for you.
And then there's the ones like you're way off. What?
No, what you usually do is it's not predicting them. It's like immediately creating the nickname for them after. I remember sitting at one initiation with you, and for every name that came, you just immediately, it was like, and your name is Jal Kaley, and you turn to me and say, Jolly Rancher.
Jolly
You're just like,
I remember Paramananda. Just because me and Paramananda would always give people devotional nicknames.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a really nice devotee who got initiated. David T. Davidas.
David T.
And I remember I was congratulating him, and some brahmachari came up and he said, do not let these guys give you some stupid nickname. That's a very beautiful name. And he's like, okay, I won't. Paramananda comes up. What's up, 3D? Oh, Krishna. Do you remember that Paramananda? I don't know if he's on the show. Anyway, Let's get going,
Let's get
Kaustubha.
into it. Chant the mantras.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Before reciting the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, whichever means a conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naistiki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Midatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. Such a great statement. And my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 8, Text 27. How do you explain someone your lotus feet, Kaustubha? Like, break that down to layman's terms. Why am I offering my obeisances to their lotus feet, and why are their feet lotuses?
Well, we talk about Krishna's feet as lotus feet first, right? He's the
Why?
original. Yeah, okay. I understand that you're asking why. You know, I think we could find there's that beautiful verse in the first canto. Who is it? I think it's Kunti that's praying it, right? Pankaja this, Pankaja that. And I think Prabhupada may address it there. But the lotus is considered, within the material realm, a symbol of great beauty, softness, beauty, fragrance, and so on.
Fragrance, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just saying, like if you go right, in one sense, you approach something that's high from its lowest point first, so it's the feet. And Krishna's feet, most of our feet aren't so nice, but Krishna's feet.
No, especially in the old days, walking around barefoot.
Yeah, yeah, right.
All
beat up. So, but Krishna's feet are, he's the embodiment of beauty, of grace, of kindness, of sweetness, and it's all right there in those feet. So they're called lotus feet. And his devotees, they carry Krishna within them. And so even if their feet aren't as beautiful and fragrant and soft as Krishna's, we still see them as lotus feet because they're carrying Krishna. They're representing Krishna.
And also, of course, the lotus grows in the swamp, grows in the grossest place, a place you would not want to go swimming in generally. But in the midst of all that swampiness is something very beautiful, fragrant, etc. So here in the material world, we're stuck in the swamp of material existence.
No mud,
Shri
no
Guru,
lotus.
Shri Guru comes with those feet, not touched by the mud.
Right.
It's so poetic. Everything becomes poetry in this spiritual practice, isn't it? Everything's poetic.
It's so true, Raghunath. It's so true. That occurred to me when I was in Rishikesh. I read some verse. Oh, it was I put a little video of that up on the on Instagram. Like it was when I ended like a month's worth of courses in the morning, and I read that beautiful verse about how may there be peace for all living entities. By practicing bhakti yoga, we'll think of each other's welfare. So let us all bring our mind to Krishna. And Chapu actually chanted it like the Sanskrit in a beautiful melody. And when everybody heard it, it was kind of like everything we've been talking about the past month about the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. You see, it's this beautiful song. It's beautiful poetry. It really is. It's a shame that we don't hear it more like that. We need to create a culture where we chant these verses in beautiful ways. And I think we need a little more of that,
Yeah.
A little more of bringing the poetic element of it.
Yeah. Me and Mara we're starting to study the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, the summary study.
Nice.
And it's so, the whole thing is poetic. It's like he didn't write in chapters.
Yeah.
He wrote in directions.
Waves.
It's like a multi-dimension.
Yeah. Oh, Raghunath froze up. But yeah, the Nectar of Devotion, it's got the north, east, south, and west waves, and these waves of nectar. Yeah. You there, Raghu? He's almost back. You got a weak connection, Raghunath, today. So until Raghunath gets back, we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 8. And we're almost at the end of this chapter. I think we're on, oh, I wish I knew exactly. I was kind of counting on him and Mara today. But, okay, Raghunath's back. Raghunath, you there? Unmute yourself.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know
Yeah,
what
no
I
problem.
said, but
Okay, it's beautiful poetry. And what's
Beautiful.
the verse we're starting with today?
the 27th.
Okay. So,
Oh.
Ansuman.
I'm assuming the grandson of Maharaj Sagara. He's
Has
stopping.
now-
He's glorifying God.
Kapila
Kapila,
Dev.
the avatar.
And he got blessed by Kapila. And now Kapila is going to just share us a couple messages with him. Now, his forefathers are lying there in a pile of ashes.
He's
Right.
came to rescue them and find them, and they're
Yeah.
all dead.
They are, well, he came to find the horse, but he also found them too, right? So now he's going to get the
Yeah.
horse. And meanwhile, there's this pile of ashes, and Kapila is going to say, you know what, you can help them, but there's only one way to do it.
Sure.
Okay.
The personality of Godhead said, "My dear Amsuman, here is the animal sought by your grandfather for the sacrifice. Please take it. As for your forefathers who have been burnt to ashes, they can be delivered only by Ganges water and not by any other means."
Okay, so that's going to become a big topic in the next chapter, but let's hang on to that for now. But he's saying you have a bunch of dead forefathers here, and basically they're just a pile of ashes. There's a way to, and they kind of was an inauspicious end for them, right? They were like attacking a sage or attacking Vishnu. They can be helped, but there's only one way to do it. That's the Ganges water.
And part of the greater Sanatan Dharma culture of the ancient world is we have debts to our parents.
Okay.
Not like our parents owe us anything. That's how we have it in America. Mom, you're not paying for college. Mom, can I have a car? We have a debt to our parents. Not only that, you have a debt to your grandparents. We have debts to people we've never met. Our great grandparents, we have a debt to them. So seeing generationally that we have a debt to our forefathers, Kapila is giving him instructions on what to do.
Right, and he's saying, and he's also indicating that their end was inauspicious, and they're gone. But
Sure.
there is a way that you can help them, but there's only one way, and there's kind of like this Ganges water is kind of like a loophole within the laws of the material energy, right? There's a loophole. There's a way
You know
out.
what? A lot of this stuff is like the fine print.
Yeah.
There's like, okay, you've created, because we studied this idea of karma. As a matter of fact, some people who study, quote, Hinduism, they're really into the details of karma. And if you do this, you should counteract it like this. You do this, you should counteract it like that. If there's an inauspicious planet, you should counteract it with a puja, a mantra. We're not into that often, but there are certain spiritual loopholes. And one is these sacred goddesses like Ganga, Yamuna, Tulsi, or you have Govardhan. You do things like that, connect with these beings actually from another world, so to speak, that manifest on earth. And you actually can transcend all of this stuff and assist your forefathers. So that's what's going to happen. He's going to call the Ganga to descend that hasn't quite descended to the planet yet.
And that will bring up the question of like, well, this sounds too, I don't know, generous or something like that. They lived, in one sense, they weren't elevated spiritually, and they get liberated. Somehow they get saved just by this water. Why? What is it about this water that would purify someone? How is this? What is it about this water? What's so special about it? So,
if you want to know the truth, Kaustubha, this is one of my biggest doubts in Bhakti.
Ouch. Really?
Yeah. Like, I understand cause and effect. I understand meritorious work, and I understand people who've committed crime. I can understand things are big. For example, if someone's getting some really good thing, but they're a jerk, like they're getting a lot of accolades, a lot of wealth. And I was like, why didn't God pick me? I'm like, I'm a good person. So if you see someone horrible getting some reward by the material world, you feel like, well, this is unfair. I can expand my mind to think, hey, maybe from a previous birth, this guy did some good karma. Or if I'm going through some hell and I think I'm a good person, I can understand, you know what? Maybe I've done some bad karma, I've done some bad actions. But when you hear about these magical things like Tulsi, Govardhan Hill, Yamuna Devi, the Ganges, and all of a sudden this horrible person gets completely blessed, attains a spiritual body, it's like, wait a second, that's super unfair, right?
Okay. Well, so we'll discuss that as we get into the next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think these are good things to I thought that was important because I'm not above questioning all these things. I've just been into this for a while. That doesn't mean I still don't think about these things. I think we tend to think like, when will I be all in? When will I be born again? Faith is a process of moving forward, taking small steps and moving forward. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to have discernment. We need that to grow. If you said, I believe all this stuff on the first day, I'd be like, a little weird. You believe all of this stuff? The Ganges is descending from the heavens. You believe that? We expect for people to bring their discernment to the table. Okay. Right?
Yeah, but at the same time, someone may have a lot of faith coming in. That's possible too.
You may, but I'm just saying, unless you challenge even
weird.
Your own,
doesn't mean they're bad.
doesn't mean they're bad people. No, it means they're faithful. But we don't. Here's what happens generally, though. People get in with what I've found. People get in with a lot of faith, and they develop no roots. And the roots is from intellectual discernment. Now, you're right. Maybe they have from a previous life. They have some skaras. Or not only that, maybe they do have deep faith, but they've never thought about these things through, and then they can't explain it to somebody else who has no faith. And then what happens is
that's natural.
They get challenged, and it challenges their faith.
Okay, so you got to discern. You got to dig in.
We got to think these things through on every level to develop roots.
We'll do some of that then.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do on this podcast.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Thereafter.
Text 27. Marge Prickett. King Prickett.
We're on 29 now. We're gonna
29. Therefore, Suman.
We could just jump around, go backwards and forwards if you want.
Thereafter, Suman circumambulated Kapila. That's showing respect. Yeah. And offered him respectful obeisances, bowing his head. After fully satisfying him in this way, Suman brought back the horse meant for sacrifice, and with this horse, Maharaj Sagara performed the remaining ritualistic ceremonies. So he got to finally finish that entire horse rejuvenating sacrifice.
Indra failed to disrupt. I mean, he temporarily disrupted it, but he failed to prevent the horse rejuvenation ceremony from taking place that we spoke about a few episodes back.
Sure. After delivering charge of his kingdom to Suman, so he handed down the kingdom,
you're the man,
and thus being freed from all material anxiety and bondage, Sagara Maharaj, following the means instructed by Aurava Muni, achieved the supreme destination.
Okay, happy ending for him.
Happy ending for him. But what about all the dead sons of Sagara? He died untimely. Happens sometimes in this world. And here we talk about now what's Suman going to be like in his kingdom. The next chapter is the dynasty of Suman. So Suman's grown up. He's the emperor. What's he going to do with all this?
Well, he's going to try to bring the Ganga down, right? He's going to feel that sense of responsibility of...
I love this generational responsibility.
So
impressive.
What do you think is your generational responsibility?
Well, I'm leaning into the Srimad Bhagavatam, where if I just take care of my own spiritual life, all my siblings and relatives and forefathers will be taken care of.
Okay, that's my strategy too.
That's our strategy.
Okay. All right, text 1 of chapter 9.
Text 1. Sukadeva Goswami.
Entitled The Dynasty.
I already did this. You weren't listening?
Good.
The Dynasty of Suman.
Yeah.
Sukadeva Goswami continued. So he's the narrator, Sukadeva Goswami. King Suman, like his grandfather, performed austerities for a very long time. Nonetheless, he could not bring the Ganges to the material world, and thereafter, in due course of time, he died.
Okay, bring down the Ganges or die trying.
You know what? It's a tough task.
Yeah.
It's a tough task. Don't get down on him. He tried his best.
Yeah.
How do you bring the Ganges to earth?
he did austerities. He thought that would help, but it didn't work.
So now they have a generational bloodline mission.
Yeah.
Our bloodline has to bring the Ganges down.
Yeah.
Has to let the Ganges descend. Like Amsuman himself, Dilip, his son, was unable to bring the Ganges to this material world.
man,
he had one. You have one thing to do, Dilip.
Your entire life.
You have one thing to do. Everything else is secondary. Please bring the Ganges down. Your grandparents have died untimely. You can help them. But you know what they have done? They've installed a family mission.
That's right. It's like what do you call it again? When you set like this intention, what can I think of the word?
A Sanskrit word?
Sankalpa. A sankalpa.
Sankalpa.
It's like, okay, we're gonna stay fixed on this until it's done. And what did they? And by that, they brought the Ganga down for centuries and centuries and ages and ages. And
yeah, so here it is, the next generation coming up. Yeah. So Dilip, his son, he wasn't able to do it, and he also became a victim of death in due course of time. It must have been so sad. He must have been like, I didn't bring the Ganges.
No, well, he's
down.
probably talking to his son, Bhagirath, and say,
yeah, his young son, Bhagirath, listen, little boy, whatever you do, please bring the Ganges down. Anyway, then Dilip's son, Bhagirath, performed very severe austerities to bring the Ganges to this material world. By the way, this is all available in Amar Chitragatha comic book.
It's all there.
Yes.
Okay.
Each one of these, I've read this many times. Thereafter, Mother Ganga appeared before King Bhagirath and said, I am very much satisfied with your austerities, and I am now prepared to give you benedictions as you desire. Being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, Mother Ganga, the king, being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, Mother Ganges, the king bowed his head before her and explained his desire.
This is a big moment.
Right?
Imagine that. Imagine this vision, this beautiful goddess.
First of all, I can't understand what austerities he did. I'm just, but whatever. It was something difficult.
And sitting in some yogic posture. And
I know, but he's a king. I'm trying to think, what did his wife do? What did his kids do? Anyway, whatever he did something very severe. Ganga Devi appeared to him, and now Ganga Devi is about to tell him what I'm going to do for you.
But, so like he's heroic, and his name is remembered even till this day.
Yeah, I mean, the Ganga is called Bhagirathi, the daughter of Bhagirath.
But I also think like Dilipa. I mean, maybe he wasn't as focused, or maybe he was just as focused, and he just played his role of handing down that intense, focused mission. I think we got to give him his props.
Dilipa?
Yes.
You don't know Dilipa's backstory.
I know. I'm saying I don't, but here he is, mentioned in Bhagavatam as, well, what did it say? He was unable. It just says he was unable.
You know why I think this is all true? Another reason to take away some of my doubts, like this is just a fantastic story. Is like, why would they bother mentioning Dilipa if he had nothing to do with it?
Yeah.
Why bother?
Because
it's got nothing to do with the story. Not really. Just say, well, the grandson. Yeah. Anyway, Bhagirath brought down the Ganga.
Okay, so now she's got some concerns.
So Mother Ganga is saying, well, when I fall from the sky to the surface of planet Earth, the water will certainly be forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatala, or the Patala area of the universe. Okay. So there's different levels of the universe. Ganga's going to hit all of them. But,
it's a practical question.
She wanted practical answers.
Yeah.
O king, I do not wish to go down to the planet Earth, for there the people in general will bathe in my waters to cleanse themselves of the reactions of their sinful deeds. When all these sinful reactions accumulate in me, how shall I become free from them? You must consider this very carefully. Okay. Right, here is this heavenly river. You want me to go to this dirty planet, your dirty ghetto-like planet, where everybody bathes their sins to become pure, but they deposit all their pollutants, not just their sins, but all their non-biodegradable deodorants and soaps
I don't think that was her concern.
That wasn't her concern, but it was her sins. But
Yeah,
that's
and
true too.
This is an interesting, some of the questions get brought up in this chapter, again, at first glance, we take a look at this and we say, why would this water help someone? What we got a pile of ashes and you're going to just pour this water on the pile and the
And then everybody's
souls
okay.
of those people are going to be benefited? And what is it? Till this day, and I was sharing when I got back. Remember the first day that I got back from India, I
Yeah.
shared with you and all the listeners that I'd spent my last day in Haridwar. And there were like busloads of pilgrims that had come all the way from Tamil Nadu, like the farthest southern portion of
South
India.
India.
Yeah, all the way up to bathe in that river. And they were very excited to do so.
Yeah. It's like, are you kidding? It's like they waited their whole life for this day.
So this is something that has been this idea is still alive after so many centuries. And the faith in it is strong that this will bring auspiciousness into my life. Now, of course, different people are going to approach that in different ways. Some people are thinking, I've done bad things in this life and previous life, and if I bathe in this river, then I become, you can say, purified, cleansed of that. I'm no longer held responsible for that. That'll be a great relief for me. And before I die, if I can clear that out, well, that'll be a really good thing. Other people are thinking different. Other people are thinking like, I have a mind that's full of all kind of crazy desires that keep me turning myself away from God.
Yeah.
And what I really want is my faith is that deep down within me, there's a pure love for God that is waiting to be awakened in me. And this river, by purifying me of my sins, really what it means is it's purifying of all of the internal programming that's pulling me away from God. I want to bathe in this river, become relieved of that so I can feel God within me, that I can feel that love for God within me. That's what I'm looking for here. And it's saying that this river has the power to do all of that, that this water has the power. Now, is it the water? Is it that there's something in the water? Is there some element within that water that's being carried? Get the Mother Ganga herself is saying, I don't know if I can handle this task because all these people are coming into me and bathing in my water, and I'm supposed to carry away all of their negative karma. What happens to me if that's the case?
Interesting.
And it'll be, I think we could hold this as a cliffhanger till we come back because we're running out of time. But I think there's a lot to be said by examining this. We can learn a lot about the nature of Krishna, the nature of Krishna's grace, and also how we can become an instrument of that same grace. We can become a Ganges River ourselves and be a purifying element in the world if we carry what she's carrying.
I like where you went with this. I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know where you were going, but I like how that ended up.
Okay, so let's start there next show.
You know what? I hope I don't miss this. I hope you don't get a fill in for this because this is I love this stuff. I feel incredibly lucky to that we get to go to the Ganga all the time.
I was going to say you are a Ganga devotee. You chant the Ganga Stotram all the time, right?
Not only that, the Shelter record had Ganga Devi on the cover of the record.
Good.
Not
Beautiful
even
cover.
realizing that someday I'd get to go back and serve Mother Ganga.
I love that painting too. It's like there's something about her that's like so sweet when she's on that crocodile coming down the river.
Oh, I know. But she doesn't actually ride a crocodile.
No, well, let's not worry about it.
She rides a Makara.
Yeah.
It's like a mystical, heavenly, crocodile-ish being.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting that there are beings that we haven't discovered? Well, first of all, there's beings on this earth species on this earth we haven't discovered. They're still discovering beings on this earth, a species on this earth. Then there's ones that went extinct, but they're sort of just in hiding. But then there's ones of other planets. There's beings of other planets. Isn't that unbelievable that we haven't seen yet? Aren't you curious? And the Vedas give us some window into them. We just think, oh, this is mythological. No, it's not mythological. You've never seen it. You live in a tiny hole. Get it? There's other things out there. God.
Wake up.
Yeah. Did you see the thing I posted about a giant ostrich-like thing chasing a kid?
No.
No,
didn't see
I
that?
missed
I
that
was like-
one. Raghunath.
It was just like a kid running for his life in this ostrich. I was like, I got to repost this.
Those ostriches run fast.
Well, this wasn't an ostrich. It was almost like a peacock head on an ostrich. I just like, this
Sometimes
is
I
some
see
being.
videos of,
It's
like,
some type of
people-
giant bird being I've never seen before.
I've seen
You know,
people
the
getting
little-
chased by those birds, like they're on a bicycle or a motorcycle or something, and they got
This-
an ostrich running behind them. Those things just don't quit. They just
I
keep coming.
saw that. Was that one where you're like, it was like the school trip gone wrong, and
Something
all these
like
little
that.
children in an ostrich farm, the ostriches are going crazy.
I'm a little scared just of our roosters.
I'm scared of our rooster. My rooster's got issues with me
Yeah.
because I'm a little alpha. The rooster's a little alpha, and every day he's like, "Come on, bring it on." I was like, "I don't want to bring it on." I was like, "He's like, no, bring it on." I was like, "I don't want to bring it on," and then I get into it with this rooster like on a daily.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
All right, so we got a cliffhanger. We'll
All right, we
come
gotta
back
go.
on
We gotta go.
Friday.
We got to go.
We got some takeaways, Miss Mara. What were you doing over there?
Yeah,
Are you
we're
gonna
gonna
show your
focus.
beautiful face?
No, I was trying to avoid that.
Whenever I see your smiling face, come on, you can't give. She's giving half the face.
Do we have to do takeaways today? All right. We need community that's not our camera. We need community that lifts us higher. Join a sage
Yes.
group.
Okay.
Okay.
Transformation happens in small groups.
Yes.
Shoot.
We have debts to our parents and ancestors.
We certainly
We
do.
should put the most dangerous giant birds.
Why,
Look at
why
this.
do I do takeaways?
Because Achuta did this giant bird. That's not an ostrich. That's the bird I saw. And plus, we had a whole episode on that crazy bird. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Spoonbill?
Spoonbill.
shoe-horned stork or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoebill.
World's
something.
giant dangerous birds.
The
Okay.
Ganga is a spiritual loophole.
Yes. It's a loophole.
Sorry.
You
It's funny.
keep looking at birds pictures. Become purified of our internal conditioning and negative karma to connect with God.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy in the morning. That's a good thing, Mara. Imagine
is
if I
a
was a
good thing.
grouch in the morning.
No, I'm glad you're
I'm-
happy.
I wake up happy.
It's great.
Even if I go to bed angry or
It's
sad. I don't go to bed angry, but if I go to bed troubled, I wake up happy. That's a
I know,
good
it's
thing.
great. I wasn't suggesting anything otherwise.
Keep it that way, Rogan.
Bring your discernment to the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay focused on the family mission for the Ganga to descend.
Yeah. That, I
Family
appreciate that
mission.
family.
Yeah. That's our mission.
Why don't you come up with a family mission, Raghunath?
You know what? I think it's smart that every group has a mission.
All right.
Maybe maybe that's for each sage group. Bringing it back. Each sage group should have a mission
That's an idea.
because then more gets accomplished. Our family needs a mission. You know what? I think we're a little rudderless because we're missionless.
Could be.
Okay.
We can become an instrument of grace like Ganga Devi.
That's
An
right.
instrument of grace. That's so Christian, and I like it.
And
An instrument of grace.
don't get down on Dilip or Amsuman. They tried.
They tried.
Yeah, they did try.
Okay.
They did. Try.
Raghunath's new solo acoustic record. What is it? Mission of Grace? Instrument of Grace.
Dedicated
I'm
to
playing
delete.
like a classical guitar. Raghunath, Instrument of Grace. You'd be like flicking through the record store. Nope, not going to buy that one.
Nope.
I thought it was going to be more like of his old
Nope.
school stuff. Thanks for joining
Some
us,
of that old
everybody.
school
And
Raghunath.
there is no show tomorrow. We're going to be flying to Sweden to meet up with the Swede. You know who's going to be there? Sophie Mo is going to be at the.
Oh
Novi
yeah.
game.
Oh,
We're going to see all our favorite Swedes. My adopted son Alex is going to be there. Who else? Alex from Sweden.
where is
Sweden.
Gothenburg in relation to the rest of Sweden? Like,
I don't know.
okay.
I looked at a map.
I think.
I think it's on the West Coast. Gotta get my Swedish geography down. Careful of giant birds, people. They're out there.